Arsène Lupin, 813 Series, Episode 1, The Assassination That Shook Europe. Welcome back, Detective. After 3 seasons of elegant heists and clever mysteries, everything changes today. Arsène Lupin has faced locked rooms, rival detectives, and identity thieves. But now he confronts something that dwarfs all previous adventures. A conspiracy so vast it threatens nations. An organization so powerful it assassinates heads of state, and a moral dilemma that will force him to choose between everything he values. Are you ready for the case that will define whether Lupin is ultimately hero or villain? Picture this: April 1910, Paris. The city awakens to devastating news. Baron Rudolf von Kesselbach, a German industrial magnate, visiting France for diplomatic negotiations, has been found murdered in his suite at the luxurious Palace Hotel. But this isn't just another wealthy victim. Von Kesselbach was secretly negotiating a treaty that would prevent war between France and Germany, ease tensions that have been building since 1870, potentially save millions of lives. His murder isn't simply crime. It's an act of geopolitical sabotage. Someone wanted those peace negotiations to fail. Someone benefits from European instability. And someone was willing to kill to ensure continued conflict. Think about the implications, my apprentice. This isn't about stolen jewels or forged paintings. This is about the fate of nations, about preventing or enabling war, about criminal ambition on a scale that makes Lupin's previous adventures seem like children's games. But here's what makes this case extraordinary. Among von Kesselbach's papers, investigators find a note in his handwriting: "If anything happens to me, contact Arsène Lupin. He's the only man in Europe who can unravel what I've discovered. Tell him, 813. He'll understand the significance." The police are baffled. Why would a respectable German baron trust France's most notorious thief over legitimate authorities? Inspector Ganimard brings me this note, his face showing the conflict between duty and pragmatism. I should be arresting Lupin, not consulting him. But von Kesselbach was right about one thing: this is beyond normal police work. This requires someone who thinks like a criminal, because we're facing criminals who think on a national scale. For the first time, Ganimard isn't just tolerating Lupin's help, he's desperately requesting it. When I deliver the message to Lupin, his reaction is immediate and visceral. His face goes pale, his hands tremble slightly, the first time I've seen him genuinely shaken. 813, he whispers. I thought that organization was destroyed years ago. If they're operating again, ... He doesn't finish the sentence, but his fear is palpable. What could frighten a man who's faced every danger with casual confidence? What is 813? I ask. Lupin takes a long moment before responding. An organization that makes ordinary criminals look like shoplifters. Imagine if the worst elements of every European nation's intelligence services, military, criminal underworld, and corrupt aristocracy formed a single network. That's 813, named for the date of their founding, August 13th, though no one knows which year. They've been linked to assassinations, regime changes, war profiteering, anything that destabilizes nations and creates opportunities for profit and power. Think about this carefully, Detective. Lupin has stolen from millionaires, outwitted brilliant detectives, solved impossible murders. But facing 813, he's genuinely afraid. What does that tell us about the scale of this threat? We're no longer in the world of gentleman thievery. We've entered something darker, more dangerous, more consequential. The investigation into von Kesselbach's murder reveals disturbing details. He was stabbed with a unique weapon, a stiletto with markings that traced to a workshop in Vienna known for supplying specialized assassination tools. His room was searched methodically, papers taken, his safe cracked with professional expertise. But, most telling, the hotel staff saw nothing unusual, reported no suspicious persons, noticed no disturbances. Whoever killed him moved through one of Paris's most secure hotels like a ghost. That's 813's signature, Lupin explains grimly. Perfect operational security. No witnesses, no evidence, no trace. They've perfected the art of invisible violence. But then he notices something in the crime scene. Photographs that police missed. A barely visible chalk mark on the wall behind where von Kesselbach's body was found. 3 faint lines in a specific pattern. That's a message, Lupin says with certainty. 813 uses a complex symbolic language for internal communication. These marks tell other members that this kill was sanctioned by the organization's leadership, not a rogue operation. It's their way of maintaining discipline within their network. Every action requires authorization and acknowledgement. He traces the pattern carefully, and this particular symbol means the assassination was ordered by someone at the very top of 813's hierarchy. But who leads 813? In all his years operating in Europe's criminal underworld, Lupin has never discovered their leadership structure. They operate through cells, he explains. Each member knows only their immediate contacts, never the full network. Orders flow down through layers of intermediaries. It's designed so no single arrest can compromise the entire organization. Very military, very sophisticated, very difficult to dismantle. However, von Kesselbach left one more clue hidden in his personal effects. A letter addressed to Lupin, sealed and dated 3 days before his death. Monsieur Lupin, if you're reading this, I'm dead. I discovered something about 813 that made me a target. Their current operation is bigger than individual assassinations. They're engineering a European war. I have proof of their plans, hidden in a place only you can find, because you understand criminal thinking. The key is, where would a gentleman thief hide something too valuable to steal? Trust no one in official positions. -813 has agents everywhere, including in French and German governments. You're my only hope for exposing them. Baron RV, think about the weight of this message, my apprentice. A dying man's last gambit, trusting a criminal to save nations that the criminal has spent years robbing. The riddle, where would a gentleman thief hide something too valuable to steal, is specifically designed for Lupin's unique perspective. What could it mean? Lupin spends hours analyzing this clue, pacing his apartment, muttering possibilities. Finally, understanding dawns. Too valuable to steal means it has no monetary value to criminals, but immense value to nations. Documents, evidence, proof. And where would I hide such things? He smiles grimly. In the one place thieves never look, a police station. Specifically, in the lost property office where stolen goods are stored after recovery. We rush to the Paris Police Prefecture's lost property department, a dusty warren of catalogued stolen items awaiting return to owners. Among thousands of objects, Lupin searches for something connected to von Kesselbach. And there, logged just 4 days ago, a leather briefcase. Reported stolen from Herr Schmidt, an obvious alias. Containing personal papers of no monetary value. Inside the briefcase, we find documents that confirm von Kesselbach's warning. Detailed plans for coordinated provocations across Europe designed to trigger war. Border incidents arranged to appear as German aggression. French military movements orchestrated to seem like preparation for invasion. Newspaper articles already written to inflame public opinion. And most damning, a list of 813 members embedded in French and German governments, military commands, and intelligence services, each positioned to push their nation toward conflict. This is their business model, Lupin explains, horror and admiration mixing in his voice. Create chaos, profit from war. Arms manufacturers, who are 813 members, sell weapons to both sides. Banks, that are 813 fronts, finance the conflict and collect interest. Intelligence officers, who are 813 agents, prolong the war by sabotaging peace efforts. It's industrialized, evil war as a profit center. But here's the truly chilling discovery. The documents indicate 813's next target is King Leopold II's peace summit scheduled for next month in Brussels. Every major European leader will attend to discuss preventing war. If 813 can assassinate key figures at that summit and frame it as an attack by one nation against another, the resulting outrage could trigger the very war they're engineering. Think about what Lupin faces now. Detective, he holds evidence that could expose a vast conspiracy and prevent a European war. But going public means revealing his involvement, potentially facing arrest, certainly becoming a target for 813 assassination, and if he stays silent, millions might die in a war created for profit. What would you do? Inspector Ganimard, reviewing the documents with us, is shaken to his core. Half these names are people I work with. French officials I trust are 813 members. How do we expose this without tipping them off? Who can we trust? Lupin's answer is stark. No one in official positions. Von Kesselbach was right. We're alone in this. But they're not entirely alone. Over the next week, Lupin assembles an unlikely team. Criminals he's worked with, who owe him favors and who hate 813 for muscling into their territories. Former victims of his thefts, who respect his code of honor and believe his warning about the conspiracy. Even a few honest police officers, whom Ganimard trusts absolutely. It's a ragtag alliance of thieves, detectives, aristocrats, and outcasts, united only by their determination to stop 8. We can't use official channels, Lupin explains, at their first meeting. Every government agency is compromised. Every intelligence service has 813 agents. If we try to work through legitimate authority, we'll be stopped, discredited, possibly killed. We have to operate like a criminal organization ourselves, in the shadows. Using illegal methods, trusting only each other. Think about this transformation. My apprentice, Lupin, has always been a criminal, working alone or with small teams. Now, he's leading a private intelligence operation against an international conspiracy. He's become what he spent years evading: someone coordinating others, managing operations, taking responsibility for lives beyond his own. The gentleman thief is evolving into something closer to a spy master, a resistance leader, a general in an invisible war. But 813 isn't passive. Within days of Lupin obtaining von Kesselbach's documents, attempts on his life begin. A sniper nearly kills him on the Champs-Élysées. Poison appears in his food. A gas leak at his apartment is clearly sabotaged. 813 knows he has the evidence and is desperate to eliminate him before he can use it. They're testing our defenses. Lupin tells his assembled team after the third assassination attempt, probing for weaknesses, trying to isolate me from protection. The real attack will come when they've mapped all our vulnerabilities. His voice carries a new weight. This isn't the playful cat and mouse of stealing jewels. This is life and death struggle against an enemy that kills without hesitation or remorse. So, tell me, detective, how do you fight an enemy embedded in every power structure? How do you expose a conspiracy when the institutions that should investigate are themselves compromised? And most importantly, can Arsène Lupin, a man who's spent his life breaking laws, become the unlikely defender of the very societies he's been robbing. The episode ends with Lupin standing before a map of Europe, pins marking 813 members' locations, strings connecting their networks. Von Kesselbach gave me this burden, he says quietly. He died believing I could stop them. I'm a thief, not a hero. But if I don't act, millions die in a war created by criminals worse than I ever was. The choice is no choice at all. Inspector Ganimard watches him and asks the question we're all thinking. What happens after this, Lupin? If we somehow stop 813? If we survive this conspiracy? If we prevent the war? Are you still a criminal? Are we still enemies? How does our relationship continue when you've saved nations but remain wanted for theft? Lupin's answer is honest and uncertain. I don't know, Inspector. Ask me again if we survive. Right now, I'm just trying to be worthy of a dead man's trust. Everything else is secondary. Join me next time for the Shadow Organization, where we'll discover the full scope of 813's infiltration, meet the mysterious figures pulling strings across Europe, and watch as Lupin's investigation draws him deeper into a world where the line between criminal and patriot blurs beyond recognition. The game is no longer about theft, it's about survival, justice, and whether one man's criminal genius can defeat an organization that's been engineering chaos for decades.